What's up guys, this is Mike Nair here. So after some digging I did online, I have come back with 7 steps to optimize your Windows 10 for gaming, and I can guarantee you a better performance on your Windows 10 if you apply these steps. You will notice an uprising on Windows overall performance. Enough introduction here, and let's cut to the chase. Step number 1, disabling background apps. When it comes to gaming, gamers usually want every single resource on their computers dedicated to whatever they are running or working on. Background apps are like a computer tumor for gamers, so we are going to disable them to save PC resources. Go to Start menu, then open Settings. On the search bar, search for background apps. Here it is. Open it and switch Let apps run in background option to off. Step number 2, game mode optimization. Go to Start again and then Settings, then search for game mode settings. Make sure game mode is switched on. Windows 10 has gaming features that run in the background. One of them is recording our gameplay while playing games. And since we are all use third-party apps such as OBS to record or stream our gameplay, Windows game recording feature becomes irrelevant at this point. So we are turning it off to optimize gaming experience. But first, in the Xbox Game Bar tab, make sure to turn that feature off. Also, uncheck the option that says Open Xbox Game Bar using this button on your controller. We are not done yet. On your keyboard, press Windows key and R to open the Run box, and type regedit to open the registry editor. From registry editor, we are going to disable game DVR, which is a feature that allows Windows 10 to record games in the background. First, open HKey current user. From there, go to System. From System, select Game Config Store. Choose Game DVR underscore enabled. Then right-click on it, then choose Modify. Change the value to 0, then press OK. Also open HKey local machine. From there, go to Software, then Microsoft, then scroll all the way down until you find Policy Manager. Open it. From there, go to Default. Scroll down again till you find Application Management. From there, go to Allow Game DVR. Now we choose Value. Right-click on it, choose Modify, change the value to 0 and press OK. Step number 3, Graphics Settings Optimization. From Start menu, go to Settings, then search for Graphics Settings. After you open it, make sure that the hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is switched on to reduce latency in games. And also variable refresh rate is switched on to prevent screen tearing. Now down here there is a cool feature that allows you to add an app and force it to run on a specific GPU power plan. Let's browse a game just for demonstration. Let's choose CSGO for example. Here we are. Now, after adding your app, you can choose it and click on Options. That opens Graphics Preference, which allows you to choose the power plan for this specific app. Add your games here and always set them to high performance. Step number 4, appearance, and performance optimization. From Start menu, go to Settings, then search for Adjust Appearance and Performance of Windows. Open it. On the Visual Effects tab, choose Adjust for Best Performance. You will see all visual effects are now unchecked. Notice that when you click Apply, there are two problems here that might be annoying to you if you let all them unchecked. First problem, video files thumbnails are now gone and they are showing up as icons instead. This might be confusing to some users, so we need to keep this visual effect. Second problem is font visual effect. It is absolutely annoying to the eye to see the font broken and not smooth enough. So we also need to leave this visual effect as it is. So let's check again. Show thumbnails instead of icons. And smooth edges of screen fonts. Click Apply now. Notice that video's thumbnails is back and also the font became better again. Now we click OK. Step number 5. Turning off notifications. We all hate to get notifications while playing games, so we are turning notifications off. From Start, go to Settings and search for Focus Assist. Set notifications to alarm only. And then down there, switch off all automatic rules. You just switch all of them off. Step number 6. And this step is for people who use an NVIDIA GPU. We are here optimizing the NVIDIA's GPU global settings. So we right click anywhere on the desktop, choose NVIDIA Control Panel, open Manage 3D Settings. On the Global Settings tab, we are changing some options here. I have done some digging and I'm going to demonstrate in this video the use of each option. So if you want for some reason to change these options later, you can come back to watch this part of the video just to understand what you are changing in your GPU settings. Let's jump to the settings now. Image scaling or sharpening. What it does is basically when you want to play on a high resolution but your GPU can't run the resolution smoothly, by using this feature you can play on a lower resolution and this feature will upscale your resolution and sharpen your image. If you have a low-end GPU, set it to on at 50%. If you have a high-end GPU, set it to off because you don't need it. Ambient occlusion, it's a feature that enhances shading, always set it to quality. Isotropic filtering, a feature that makes distant objects look sharper, not blurry, set it to application controlled. Anti-aliasing FXAA, it's an anti-aliasing feature that cures jagged edges by post-rendering them a little bit blurry than the original. If you have a low-end GPU, set it to on. If you have a high-end GPU, set it to off. Anti-aliasing gamma correction. It's an anti-aliasing feature that adjusts image brightness to make it more realistic. Always set it to on. Anti-aliasing mode. The general anti-aliasing option, always set it to application controlled. Anti-aliasing transparency. It's an anti-aliasing feature that makes transparent images to be more realistic. Always turn it off if you want more FPS, of course. Background application max frame rate. It's an option allows you to limit the frame rate to 20 for background apps, so your GPU can chill, which is good for power consumption. It's up to you to set it off or on, but since we already disabled background apps, I'm going to set mine to off. CUDA GPUs. CUDA enables developers to speed up compute-intensive applications. Set it to all. DSR factors, aka dynamic super resolution. Basically, what you are doing is running your games at a higher resolution than your monitor supports, then downscaling it to your monitor's resolution. What this does is reduce aliasing in the image. It's a very effective form of anti-aliasing. However, it is extremely demanding relative to other forms of anti-aliasing. So it's not recommended to use this feature since it will negatively affect FPS. Set it to off. Low latency mode, it's a feature that lowers your input latency in games by sacrificing maybe 1 or 2 FPS and making up for that with a smoother gaming experience. If you have a low-end GPU, set it to off. If you have a high-end GPU, set it to on or ultra. Max frame rate, a feature used for setting a limit to FPS. Always set it to off. You don't want to limit your FPS at any circumstances. Monitor technology. It's an advanced technology that allows you to match the monitor's refresh rate to the GPU frame rate. Set it to G-Sync. Multi-frame sampled AA. It's a form of anti-aliasing that offers you a slightly sharper image, but in return your FPS drop a bit. Set it to off since we need more FPS. OpenGL rendering GPU, a feature that lets you select which GPU to use for OpenGL applications. Set it to the GPU you are using. Power management mode, set it to prefer maximum performance. Preferred refresh rate, set it to highest available. Shader cache size. A shader cache is a feature that remembers the results of the compilation after the first time it's done, saving quite a lot of work next time. Just set it to driver default. Texture filtering negative LOD bias. It changes your level of detail. If you set it to allow, it makes far objects blurrier and slightly increases FPS in this case. If you set it to clamp, it gives you a depth of details for far objects and slightly decreases FPS. It's up to you to set it as you like. I set it to allow since I like more FPS. Texture filtering quality, a method that is used to improve the texture quality in the scene. If you have a low-end GPU, set it to quality. If you have a high-end GPU, set it to high quality. Threaded optimization, it's a feature that allows the driver to offload certain GPU-related processing tasks as separate threads on the available CPU cores, and that improves GPU performance. If you are using a 4-core CPU or less, set threaded optimization to off or auto. If you are using a 6-core CPU or more, set threaded optimization to on. Triple buffering. It's a feature that smoothens out video game frame rate and reduces screen tearing, but it can also cause notable input lag in some situations. Triple buffering also often requires a fairly powerful PC to run properly. I recommend to set this feature to off. Vertical sync. A feature helps you to create stability by synchronizing the image frame rate of your game or application with your display monitor refresh rate. Keep in mind that running this feature will prevent screen tearing at the cost of some FPS. If you are playing an offline game, set it to on since you want the smoothest gaming experience possible. If you are playing an online game, set it to fast since you want less screen tearing without losing much of your FPS. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames. Pre-rendered frames are used to render a scene with the CPU processor before it's rendered to the GPU, which can reduce processing time and increases FPS. Set it to 1 as it is the most balanced option in my opinion. Virtual reality variable rate supersample. Variable rate supersampling is a new technique to improve image quality in VR games. Set it to off since we don't play VR games. Now it's time to set the power plan of your Windows. Go to Start, then Settings, search for Control Panel. From Control Panel, go to Hardware and Sound. Select Power Options and set your power plan to High Performance or Ultimate Performance if it's available. Step number 7. Turn off Windows Update feature. It is an optional step, but I really recommend that you don't update your Windows 10. It should be working like a charm now. Don't slow it down by updates. Go to Start menu, then Settings. Search for Windows Update Settings. Pause updates. This option is grayed out in my case since I paused them already to the maximum period that Windows allows me to select. Also go to change active hours, then turn active hours to off. Go back and go to advanced settings and switch all of these options to off, all of them. Here we go. Now we are done. Most of these steps are also applicable on Windows 11. So Windows 11 users, if you are watching this video, you can search for the options which change it on your settings, and I am pretty sure that you will find them eventually. What is left now is to perform a system restart. And after that, let's compare the average FPS before and after optimization. I hope that my guide helped you in some way. If you liked my video and found it informative to you and helpful, please support me with a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.